Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'll start off here. I'll tell you what, in this space, everything moves so fast. It's like it takes literally minutes for all kinds of news to come out. I'll start here. Great tweet from Zach Rector. Bankruptcy remote protection, free institutional grade custody, transparent trading fees, no withdrawal limits, personalized broker service, free sign up. You can go to XRPwealth589.com and it'll forward you to my page here on Caleb and Brown. You can just click the sign up today button. He just outlined all the reasons I'm there. If you haven't done it yet and you want to sleep well at night like I do, go do it. We're still in the little pullback, folks. We're at 280. I don't know if he's already spoken, but I think Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, speaking today. And typically, the markets react one way or another when he talks based on whether they think he's going to lower interest rates again. And so if he says anything that makes it sound like he might not, this thing could really tank. That's what I'm waiting for, because I'm going to go in and scoop up a bunch of XRP in my Caleb and Brown account. Check this out. So I covered in my last video this. Luxembourg becomes first EU sovereign wealth fund to buy Bitcoin with a 1% position via ETF. So, it's the standard Bitcoin narrative. Well, on the same day, look at this. This is Giles Roth. I'm assuming, the Minister of Finance of Luxembourg. Great meeting with Ripple as they advance towards securing their license to operate in Luxembourg. We discussed their ambitions in Europe and Luxembourg and reaffirmed our commitment to digital innovation. Here's the pictures. There's Stuart Alderati, and that's is it Cassie Craddock from Ripple, and I don't remember this guy's name, but that's them sitting at the table with them. And then Stuart Alderati says EU leading in creating comprehensive rules for digital assets, and nations like Luxembourg are leaning in. Thanks to Luxembourg Finance Minister Giles Roth, that is, and his team for a great meeting. Ripple's excited about the future in Luxembourg and the EU. Then Cassie Craddock tweeted about it. With MiCA now rolled out across the EU, nations like Luxembourg have the opportunity to take a global lead when it comes to developing their local digital assets industry. It was a great meeting with them, The conversation was extremely positive and came away feeling that Luxembourg really understands the opportunity ahead. At Ripple, we stand ready to support Luxembourg's efforts as it establishes itself at the forefront of the industry. This all reminded me of these two photos. This is way back, I don't remember, I think it was around 2017, Chris Larson meeting with the, I guess that was the former minister there. And then the minister came to Ripple headquarters, and Brad Garlinghouse was wearing the Luxembourg sunglasses. Plans within plans, folks. Look at this from Paul Barron. Animico Brands, aka Weiss, I don't know how do you say that, tokenizing special purpose vehicles on the XRP ledger via DL Holdings partnership backed by Ripple. SPVs will include stakes in ByteDance, Kraken, eSelf AI, real estate in Hong Kong's Central District. I mean, look at this. The Animico Brands research identified that the tokenized real-world assets sector currently represents only $26 billion of a $400 trillion addressable traditional finance market that includes private credit, treasury debt, commodity stocks, alternative funds, global bonds. Pivotal growth runway, 16,000 times the current on-chain market. That is wild. Here, listen to this from Paul Barron.
Was the flash crash, and of course we saw Oracle losing $100 million on NVIDIA chips. the stock market erased $49 billion in the Oracle stock. And this, of course, gets into this whole issue. Look at that. This whole issue right now of the overbought nature of how AI bubble may be in play. Let's jump over to Bitcoin real quick because Bitcoin futures open interest rose sharply. A lot of traders now adding longs during this. Remember, this has a lot of comparison to the 2021 cycle. It's about the same time of year. We saw the all-time high in November. And then, of course, from that, a lot of people got wrecked because they did not sell in that subsequent 60 days. And I think a lot of people almost have a little bit of PTSD from that. And it might be why you're seeing so much edginess and seeing these big little slice corrections.
All right. $4 trillion State Street says institutional Bitcoin and crypto holdings are expected to double. I'll take a double. And this is their CEO.
And it's here. We've got certainly stablecoin has just grown significantly especially since the Genius Act. Tokenized deposits are real. There are banks that have started to work with tokenized deposits, the tokenization of mutual funds. These are all things that are happening now. And some people are predicting it's not going to fully be integrated until 2030. I think it's going to be sooner.
We're hitting the acceleration button. And by the way, State Street is the one that said trickle, trickle, then flood back in like 2018 or 19. This thing is going to get real, real fast. That's why I'm about to buy this dip if it'll dip just a little bit more. Then we have silver has reached a new all-time high of $50. All the signs are there, folks. Now, this right here is interesting. This is the Flare CEO, Hugo Filion. Now, this right here is where I start to get interested. What he's talking about in this clip is how he's talking to major exchanges about incorporating their products. See, this is when I could get interested in yield. When I start seeing some of these major exchanges with major reputational risk, because I think that when they incorporate products like this, they're going to incorporate safeguards because they can't afford, these big exchanges can't afford to lose people's assets. And that's when I'm going to start really paying attention. That's why I'm holding off for now. Listen to what he says.
Maybe insights that came from that event.
Yeah, so, I mean, I won't put too fine a point on it. I won't mention names, but it was my best week ever for deals. Absolutely. By a long way. So, really, we had a lot of meetings with exchanges, major exchanges, which went very, very well. We had one particular meeting with one particular massive partner who, if that goes, as well as the meeting went, I expect, you'll hear an awful lot more about that. And, people like that story. So, obviously until it's announced, I can't say anything, but, exchanges are very, very interested in integrating, XRP yield play, and, they can't integrate effectively a wallet solution, just a vault solution. Why would they? They can do that themselves if they want to. They want to get on-chain yield. They don't need to go to a vault solution like MXRP or even more markets. They have trading teams. They can do all of that themselves. So Flare offers a holistic DeFi ecosystem for XRP, and frankly, exchanges, they want to play with Firelight. So it's the best product in terms of risk reward for them to be able to derive XRP yields for their users. Well, yields for their users, which can be converted into XRP.
Let these companies jump on board, and then we can find out about what safeguards are going to be involved. I'll start to look at it then. Do you remember when Chris Giancarlo at XRP Las Vegas talked about letters of marque and reprisal?
As I was able to share with the president, some members of his council, of the cabinet, an idea for taking something old and making it very new. So in our U.S. Constitution, in Article 1, Section 8, there is a provision called letters of marque and reprisal, by which Congress can authorize the president to deputize the private sector to wage war on our national enemies. And that provision was used in the War of 1812 when President James Madison authorized a sailor by the name of John Paul Jones to raid British shipping and to basically steal back the cargoes and the seamen that British sailors were taking from the American merchant marine. What I propose to President Trump is that we dust that off, and in a variation of James Madison, this president authorized the enormous technological capability that members of which are in this room here today to go after state-sponsored hackers of our crypto, like the Lazarus Group, that are stealing crypto and using it to fund their arms program. Well, let's go steal that crypto back, and let's use it to fund our crypto stockpile and our crypto reserve, right? Let's do it. You know, my dad told me when a bully took me on in school, he said, you know, the thing that you need to do with a bully is punch him in the nose. Well, let's go punch North Korea in the nose.
Well, today, this was put out by Chainalysis, or by Cointelegraph. Chainalysis experts say governments could eventually seize over $75 billion in illicit crypto and use it as strategic reserves. So that's exactly what he advised Trump on. This is how it's going to go down, folks. You know, when I was listening to this and saw this news piece from Cointelegraph, you know what the first thing that popped in my head was? Is how the government might be able to get them a little pile of XRP. Chris Larson had, 213 million XRP was stolen from Chris Larson. He said, this is back January 31st, 2024. Yesterday, there was an unauthorized access to a few of my personal XRP accounts, not Ripple. We were quickly able to catch the problem and notify exchanges to freeze the affected address as law enforcement is already involved. Now, I'm assuming Chris Larson got his XRP back and it won't be a part of letters of marque and reprisal. But it was the first thing that popped in my head. He has an awful lot of it. Maybe he would let the government have that XRP. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, we're going to go into daixrp.com, the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join right below any of these videos. If you'd rather join through X, just hit subscribe. Today, we're going to go into the All the World's a Stage file. To me, this is pretty compelling that all the world's a stage. And in fact, when the lawsuit against Ripple dropped, when it first dropped, I'm going to show you one of the first tweets I ever did. Let you see what my thoughts were when it first dropped. And then you can decide for yourself if all the world's a stage. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Want to find out what's in that file? Here we go.